Ladies and gentlemen, explodes today. What a shocker. Earnings analysis between FedEx and Oracle, our precise daily stock levels, our game plan in Forex, as well as our full stock analysis. I am Mark Melnick, and this is the Newsbeat Show. I have come from the sky, I have fallen above, and I come to save the day. Who am I? I'm Captain Hindsight, and I'm coming here to show you what exactly happened in Netflix here today. But the issue is we're not Captain Hindsight, we're actually Captain Foresight, Captain Clairvoyance, Captain Omniscience, Captain Predictive, whatever you want to call this. Yeah, Mighty Mouse, right? All right, so people thought I was joking. I wasn't joking yesterday on the Newsbeat show when I was just, had hearts in my eyes over Netflix and I was drooling and I was just absolutely drooling over this Netflix chart. And some of you were surprised when you saw the gap down today in the market because the Qs and spiders. I mean, you woke up this morning, tariff talk between the United States and China really weighing down on the fear factor of the market. And we basically came out and I was saying yesterday, if you follow us on the Newsbeat show, I was saying how I want to make out with this stock. And if you are following us in the Newsbeat live room, it sort of looked like this. And by sort of, I mean it exactly looked like this. And this was our morning game plan from today. And I just want to show you. And I basically showed you number 6 here, Netflix upgrade. And I literally put in quotes, my favorite. And I was explaining why it was my favorite today. And of course, if you were in the room today, I was like, guys, even with the market gap down obnoxiously, I was like, Netflix is going to hit $400 today because you had elevated volume, you had a bull flag with a falling wedge formation. This is the most bullish formation there is. This Netflix formation right here, you could just see beautiful bull flag on the daily. Look at the digestive volume. As soon as you're ready to break out from here, you're going to have elevated volume, which you obviously saw today. And Netflix exploded. I got so many love letters in the room. Me personally, I wish I capitalized on this in a more meaningful manner. But nonetheless, even on a day like this, you can always find a bull stock somewhere. And I'm not talking about those little stupid stocks. I'm not talking, there's some people who are like, I'm trading a $3 name that has a lot of volume and it goes to $3.50 and you make your day on it. And look, God bless you. But the problem is that you happen to be one out of 1,000 traders who can consistently do that. For the rest of us humanoids, we look at this Netflix here. And believe it or not, it's a very easy name to trade. Now, some people are saying, Mark, it's a $405 stock. Like, for example, let's say you have 100,000 buying power, and I'm making the number up. How many shares can I logically take of this? I can't even take 300 shares before maxing out all my money in this one trade. But here's the thing, if you actually traded options, the $400 calls went from like $1.90 to like 9.5, $10, somewhere around there. So, if you were to just take like $500, for example, let's say you took like $500 and you said, I just want to buy Netflix. If Netflix goes to zero, I'm going to lose $500. That is the worst case scenario. I'm losing that $500. In the worst case, if these options expire worthless, which is phenomenally unlikely on a Tuesday, if you came in with that sort of mentality and you played it, perfectly, you would be up 2,500, 3,000 bucks, closer to 2,500. But you get the picture. I mean, you have traders who, caught doubles and triples and quadruples today in our room on the Netflix. And I wanted to explain to you again the reason why I thought this Netflix was going to explode was this formation. So one thing was for sure that you are most likely going to resolve today. So I just want to delete all my other drawings just to give you guys a clear look and show you why algorithmic trend lines are the most important form of analysis out there. It's very easy, and I'm telling you this, you'll find those traders out there they're going to show you a chart, they're going to show you going down, and they're going to say this is where you short it. And they'll be 5 to 10% of the people who could make money on that chart, and 95% of the people who will lose money on that chart setup. It's very easy to look at a stock near day highs and call it bullish. Believe me. I mean, does Netflix look bullish to you? The trick, and this is something I humbly believe in, the trick in this market for an intraday trader is to buy something on a pullback. If you cannot buy something on a pullback, you are never going to be consistent. You are never going to be consistent. And all those traders who come out and broadcasters who like to come out and show their P&L, all of a sudden they'll go through dry stretches for a number of weeks and a lot of dry stretches. But you want to be consistent. You want to make money 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 days, which is, I think if you don't have that goal, it doesn't matter what strategy you have, because the problem is, even if you're making money, let's say you're right 4 out of 10 times, but you make two times more than when you lose. So you might say, all right, if I'm right 4 times, and I make 2 times when I lose, I'll make 8 and lose 6 every 10 random attempts, right? I'll make 8 and I'll lose 6. And you might think, well, I'm making money. That makes sense. But the psychological toxicity, the psychological damage that you're doing to yourself by doing that is going to drive you crazy and blow up your account. And when you're down money, it's a very horrible feeling. It's an awful feeling. Every trader could relate to that feeling of being down money and having a losing day, and it sucks. It sucks so bad. And it sucks so bad. And what I'm telling you, it goes beyond just the feeling. You're actually dragging in some of those negative emotions, whether you psychologically realize it or not, into the next day. You're actually dragging that in with you. So you really should focus on these algorithmic trend lines. They're really a powerful tool. And again, if you watched last night's Newsbeat show, I know a lot of you guys who bought Netflix today who did very well. Congratulations. And again, my favorite setup, and it's a bull flag and a falling wedge on the bull flag. So it's not just the bull flag, which everybody could say, yeah, bull flag's the strongest setup in the market, sure, but it's that falling wedge that comes with it. And a falling wedge is simply uh, it looks like this. Basically, the top level of it is at a sharper angle than the support level, and it looks like a falling triangle, basically, much like how you see here on this trend line, these two trend lines. Beautiful breakout for Netflix. Analyst came out this morning and upgraded it, made it even simpler. That's one of the benefits about being part of the Newsbeat live room, is you get sort of these things. So I know yesterday I was saying how much I wanted to make out with this stock and I wanted to make out with this chart. And because you get stuff like this today, and again, like, it's easy to talk about it today, but this is what we saw yesterday. This is what the chart looked like yesterday when I wanted to make out with it. Beautiful chart. And the most impressive part about this move was what the market did today, by far. So we'll be looking for more of these setups as well. Couple names reported here today. We're going to start off with FedEx, which is doing nothing after hours right now. It's showing after hours down 99 cents, which for an earnings report on FedEx is nada. It's going to come down to the analyst coming out tomorrow. I thought the numbers would beat and explode. I was absolutely right. Q4 numbers, $5.91 versus the 568 expected. That's a very nice beat. They basically 17.3 billion in revenues beat the 17.24. But what really prevented this stock from continuing to shoot higher is basically the fiscal year 19 consensus, which was $17 to 17.60, which is a median range of 17.30, like right in the middle of that. And the consensus was 1742. So they're saying they're going to make 1730 on average if you go in the middle of the range. And the street was expecting 1742. So the numbers were good. They shot it up and then they brought it back down with the projections and things like that. CEO comes out, says he's never been so optimistic in all his years at the company. And I take a look at this chart and I say, yeah, that's because the stock has never been higher before this year. You better be more optimistic. What is he going to say? Oh, things are looking gloomy. We're returning our shareholder value higher now than it has ever been. Woe is me. Cry me a river. Hear a little Justin Timberlake in the background. Don't get me started with him. We'll see what happens tomorrow. It's going to come out to the analysts. This is what, now I'll tell you what I'm going to predict what the analysts are going to say. Analysts are going to raise the target on FedEx because the majority of them, because the analysts are going to come out, they're going to look at the numbers, they're already bullish on FedEx, and they're going to say, now we're more bullish on FedEx, which they have the right to be because now they see the earnings, and I think you're going to get a lot of upgrades on FedEx. Moving on along, there's another little company that reported here, Oracle, and this one was interesting as well. This was another one which I said would beat on earnings, but that doesn't mean you're going to gap up. So stock at the moment is actually down about $1.70 approximately at the moment right now. Stock trading $1.70 down after hours, 99 cents versus the 94 consensus. They beat the average analyst consensus estimate. 11.3 billion beats the 11.19 billion. So they were $110 million ahead of how much Wall Street thought they were going to earn. And again, the CEO comes out, says double-digit growth in fiscal year 19. The stock actually popped up. It was up 4% after hours at one point, and then it fell because basically, I don't know. I don't know why they actually fell because when they gave guidance, again, it's funny with all these earnings, it's almost irrelevant to what a company reports as long as the guidance is good. It doesn't matter if you miss. So the guidance was 67 to 69 cents versus 72 cents. So what you see in both FedEx and Oracle are destroyed the numbers in which the street expected now, but projected lower numbers later. Now, there's a number of reasons why this happens. First of all, I think guidance is always BS. It's BS. Why is it BS? Generally, not always. Sometimes you could tell the guidance, but the guidance will always be wrong, just like the consensus estimates are wrong 95% of the time by the analysts who you're actually paying. And let me tell you exactly why they're wrong, why these things are wrong. Because nobody knows what's going to happen next quarter. Nobody knows how much business is going to be brought to the table here for Oracle in the next quarter. Nobody knows. It could be great. It could be bad. You give such a large range. And then, of course, Wall Street judges you on it. Nonetheless, I think I do want to mention, though, in FedEx tomorrow, I am going to give you something really cool here in FedEx. And basically, if FedEx could open up tomorrow. I mean, right now FedEx is like down now $1.38 after hours. If FedEx could be up or down $4 or less tomorrow, meaning you're down $4 or up $4 or anywhere in between, I'm going to probably go ahead and take a straddle or a strangle, depending on what it is. And this is an option strategy, which unfortunately you can't do through stock because I'm literally buying and selling the stock at the same time. I'm basically betting that the stock will have a big move. And I think that is an extremely likely scenario for FedEx tomorrow. Last time it moved 9 points on earnings day. Time before that, it moved 7 points on earnings day, rounding off. So I think there's going to be an opportunity for a potential straddle strangle, especially if it opens up or down $4. That's something how I'm going to look to play it tomorrow. And again, I do see analysts upgrading FedEx. How about our precise daily levels, where we give you all the levels we're watching? And you could go ahead and just take a look here. So the triple Q's got a very big gap down here today. I gave you guys support on this trend line right here, $174.41. And I gave you a very simple resistance. The all-time highs on the Q's 177.89 because we're still very close to that. Don't worry if you missed the screenshot, I'll give you another opportunity. Spiders, 273.32 support based on this trend line right here, algorithmic trend line. And your resistance on the spiders today, 275.94. Now, the trend line that hit today was actually Facebook. Facebook trend line actually hit today. We hit 193.79, and we gave you the support 194.18. So you slammed against that level and exploded to the upside. That was a tremendous opportunity. I speak to traders who tell me it's hard for them to manage all this and what they actually do. And again, I would never tell you to do anything with your account. I couldn't legally ever tell you that. But what these traders are doing is they're actually taking these levels here in the morning. And what they do is, for example, if the Qs are opening up in between that range, if any of these names, Qs, Spiders, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, if any of these names open up in between the support and resistance, they'll throw out a bid at the support level and or an offer at the resistance level, and they just throw out orders. And like this one dude today told me and emailed me, he saw Facebook support at 194.07, so he figured it would break 194, and he put in a bid at 193.90 today. Got filled on 1,000 shares, and look what happened. He was down 11 cents on his 1,000 shares, and the stock rocketed up. He didn't sell at the day highs. He didn't make 4 grand on the trade, but he made 2 grand. He said he caught a couple points off it. So again, I'm not saying that that's a strategy you should use, but a lot of traders say, Mark, these levels are phenomenal. How do I actually catch them? You know what? If I was talking to my son and my son asked me, Dad, how do I catch these levels? Which would be pretty impressive considering he doesn't actually follow the market at 3 years old. But if he actually came to me, I'd be, Son, why don't you try 100 shares? Why don't you try 1 share? Why don't you try 10 shares? Why don't you try 50 shares? See if it's something viable that you like. And if it's good and you're making money off it, slowly increase. That's what I would tell my son. So if you wish to screenshot any of these levels, you can go ahead, screenshot them now. Again, they're very easy to catch in the manner I told you. Simply, people put bids a little at or below the support. Most people do it a little below the support, and most people put offers out above the resistance level. And that's how people have been actually catching our names. You guys want all my Forex trades? Fine. Again, anything above the gray line are filled orders from the other day. Please don't copy them. The new orders are below this gray line here. They're 5 buy orders. Here's my size in US standard lots. Here's the symbols I'm watching. Here's the price 5 decimal places out at times of where I want to buy it. Here's exactly my stop loss. Here's exactly my take profit. The fill trades were from the yesterday's orders in which I showed you. And those are the Forex trades that I'm watching today. So, ladies and gentlemen, right now we're going to get into our full stock analysis. That's your stocks, any stock you're watching, my levels, where I would potentially buy or sell the stocks you're watching. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, that is for Newsbeat Live members only. We are the fastest growing trading room in the nation. Happy trading, make money. And we'll see you guys next time on the Newsbeat Live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful evening.